Oh, I gotta set up sound. One sec. One sec. Ooh, I'm streaming on YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube, bro. Is that your stream voice? Okay. All right, sure. So soft spoken when your stream's on. Why aren't you yelling at me and trying to hit me anymore? I'll tell the whole world. You see, just saw a little bit of that. Nothing. I'm sorry. Ow! Stop! Please no, don't. You shouldn't swing at me close-fisted like that. That's fucked up. Oh yeah. Oh. I want to turn PvP on. I gotta get these fucking things. Oh. Okay, that's for a lot of XP. Okay, cool. I need rabbits. Have you started to look for rabbits and shit? It's a bitch, man. You can barely see them. But if you turn the graphics on low, you can see them easier. Yeah, underneath visuals, press escape and go to settings and visuals. Motherfuckers. Need this stuff right here. Yeah, you know my friend over there, that maybe gay guy? He leveled up all the way to 18 just by crafting and shit. You know what I should do? I should put a live stream of the chickens up. Like live stream the chickens all day. 24/7 chicken cam. That'd be sick. I'd watch that. No, I don't think I would. Never mind. What are these? Oh, I found eggs, babe. Oh no, I didn't. Just feathers. Damn. Found a nest though. I've been working on the railroad. Is this song racist? Well, I know a lot of Asian people who worked on the railroads, right? They would smoke opium in the opium dens. Then they would go hit big nails into the track. What? Yeah, Covenant. You better go Covenant. Go Covenant or you're on your own. You're on your own, girl. What level are you now? 8? You just said 8 like an hour ago. I'm just kidding. I'm just... Oh, I can cut down mature trees now. Oh no, that's level 50. What? What'd you say, babe? Yeah, Covenant, yeah. Covenant or get the fuck out, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bite me once. Scared, you scared. Damn it. I need a snail. You catch a snail, man. Need some better bait, probably. Yeah. No, no. Join my company. Damn it, I just missed my fish. Oh, what? No, don't join the company yet. I'll invite you to this one when he gets back on. Or if you want to, you can join wherever you want. You can always leave them and join mine. You can join another one if you want. Or you can wait till maybe Gay gets back on. He invited me, so. Oh shit, I got a tadpole. Fuck. I never hit the top, man. Come on, snail. Looks like a snail. Oh, I got a treasure chest, I think. Yeah, I got a treasure chest. Look, I got a treasure chest. Yeah. I don't know, let's see. What's in the box? Oh, shit. Dude, I got the best stuff. Pretty dope. Am I encumbered now, motherfucker? I don't want to keep those. I think it's a good bait. There we go. Damn, I'm getting all kinds of firefly baits. Point. Fuck. Fuck, how does that not max? I don't get this game, man. Some bullshit. Come on, max, max, max. Fuck that, dude. Nope. There we go. Hold on 1 second. What'd you say, babe? Tadpole, tadpole. They're worth a lot. Dunzo. I'm on fire. Come on. Come on. Got him. What is this? Large pike. Okay, that makes sense. What the fuck? Server's like acting up. Yeah. What the fuck is going on? Wrong way. Bitch. Motherfucker. No fucking elk in sight. Oh. Oh. Damn it. Damn it. Oh, there he is. No. Motherfucker. Where's the elk at? You get so much experience skinning these things. Is that it? Is that a buck? Nope, that's a doe. There's a rabbit, yes. Oh, I already got them all. Nice. Holy shit. Fuck you. Come on, there has to be an elk. What the fuck is that? Gotta work tomorrow, babe. Get off. Who's that? Nice, babe. What did I game week doing? Oh, you did? Okay. Right. Oh, I see you. Wait, wait, don't get off. Don't get off. No, just stay on. I'll try to. I accepted you, yeah. You have 20 minutes till you get logged out. In like 5 minutes, I'll go over there and I'll do it. I'll put on that thing so you don't log out. What level? What level were you? What? How hot was your GPU? Gee. It's all good, babe. It's all good. Yeah. It just is gonna have a shorter life expectancy when it runs that hot.
The light of the covenant shines within you.
Any more pizza left? Right here.
The light of the covenant shines within you.
Oh, that's where he's at.
That's it. Now, if I can just... Not yet. You have to make your own choices. If you can...
Now that you caught a glimpse of Rimswood, I trust you see why Everfall is a damn nice place. The Autumn Rest is a place you can fall like a leaf.
He was one of Nick's training partners. He's been a training partner of Nick's forever. Nick Diaz.
That guy,
Joe Schilling.
oh my God, I thought you meant the guy that got knocked out. I
Oh,
was like,
no way.
wait,
no,
what the
no,
fuck?
no. Joe Schilling.
Yeah.
He was there at the Diaz fight. And, you know, my thing about Nick Diaz is, like, when I looked at him physically, I was like, I don't know how much he's been training. Like, when Nick was in his prime, he was, like, really lean. And he was, you know, I mean, he's like an older guy now. And
How old, though?
I think he's like 30. I don't know. How old? 38?
Is he really?
But the thing is, like, I don't think you can just jump back in that easy after 6 years out of sport. I think you'd probably need more time to prepare. I don't know.
Kind of got fucked, right?
Well, I don't know how much time he had to prepare and why they agreed to do a fight on short notice. I think it was only like 6 weeks notice. I think is fine if you're, you know, Michael Chandler. If you're in like peak form right now and you're ready to go, and someone gives you 6 weeks, I bet you can get ready for a fight. But if you're a guy who's been off for that long, you're gonna need more time. I think. I'm just guessing. I don't know how much time it took him, but my point was he didn't do that bad for a guy that was out 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, Robbie Lawler was pressuring him, and he was putting it on him, and he was definitely getting the better of the exchanges. But it's not like Nick Diaz didn't have his moments, and he definitely did. He would just have to have really, like, way more time to prepare, and he would have to really be, like, ready to go. Like the old Nick Diaz, like the Nick Diaz that fought Anderson Silva, like the Nick Diaz that fought George St. Pierre, like the Nick Diaz that fought Paul Daly in Strikeforce. I mean, that dude was a fucking killer. It's just like, can he still do that at 38? Well, maybe. We don't know. If you just have one fight, you need time. Like, if your body hasn't been used to this stuff and you haven't been training as much as you were when you were in your prime, if you still want to do it again, like legitimately, physically, you probably can. But it's like, you know, you've run a marathon.
Yeah.
When you start out and you run a mile and you're dead, and you're like, I can't believe anybody can run 26 of those. But if you do it over and over and over again, you build up. I don't think he had a chance. I don't think Nick Diaz had a chance to build back up after being off for that much time. I think you get back to where he was Nick Diaz in his best. You gotta have some time.
Those Diaz brothers were great for their fucking pace. They could last the whole fucking fight with cardio.
Well, they're always in the triathlon and shit. They got confidence into that too. Well, yeah.
Remember the UFC?
When's that?
February 6th.
How are you going out like this? What the fuck you do?
I don't know. You saw
You wanna
Nick. You saw
pulverize
Nick, you saw
your
Nick
knees?
stand step into the cage. I'll figure it out. Robbie Lawler won't be there.
Why would you just
Got picture that fucking monkey ass into this morning for breakfast.
What's that? What? Oh, that's the picture you sent me. Yeah, for that girl's lovely private parts. That's the best name for a vagina, monkey.
I send them to everybody too. Presidents, corporations, cops, on Monday, happy Monday. You make their day. Everybody's day is better.
Especially for presidents of corporations. Can you imagine if you had to work in a fucking office for your whole life, as old as we are now? If we were in an office, sometimes we're like 20, red, full, just every day, buttoned down, trying not to say anything that's going to get you in trouble. Just make it to 5 o'clock and then immediately go to a bar and talk shit. Do it all over again.
I know that you want to be real serious. You know, numbers have to be up to admit. When your phone rings, you fucking open it up. And it breaks up the whole morning. Thank God Joe. That's tough. That's tough. sales meetings. I used to go to sales meetings. But, look, you know, I went to Anthony Robbins.
Did you?
I was a burglar. Anthony Robbins.
Be a better burglar?
No, and I ended up kidnapping the motherfucker. He focused me. I walked on the coals. I was all in with Anthony Robbins. You do know that.
Really?
Because I worked for a Subaru dealership, so Subaru paid for you to go to Anthony Robbins seminars. So they would give me like 3 bills for the day for per diem. I would go to Denver and do the Anthony Robbins seminar. I read
Dude,
the
you should be a
books.
Subaru spokesperson. Who's more loyal to Subaru than you?
Nobody.
You fucking love Subarus.
Love them. Love them. I just cannot.
Because you lived in Boulder.
I lived in Aspen.
Yes.
And I saw vans. I saw every type of high-level car spin around. And you just lose control. Did you ever lose control in Colorado?
I didn't, but I did in
Mrs.
Boston
Rogan
a bunch of
did.
times. Yeah.
It wasn't fun.
It's not. Whenever you're driving in snow,
No.
it's touch and go. You could get patches of ice.
In Colorado, you gotta do black ice. You know, I remember I worked at the Crestwood. I was security. And I fucking did everything I could to get out of that job. Because one night I was in bed, speed limit, no alcohol. And I just hit black ice and things started spinning. You don't know where you're going.
You have no idea. Those are McGuire ones. Chris McGuire and I were on the way to the airport in Ohio. We crossed over a bridge. The bridge is where you get it because there's no ground underneath it, so things freeze quicker. We went over this bridge and just got lucky. Nothing happened. We both went, all right. You know, it stopped where we were facing the wrong way, but there was no one on the road because it was early. We head back to the airport. So we just got back in line. Okay, I remember this. Like all of a sudden you got no power.
You know, I love German technology. I love the look of a lot of sports. Everything like that. There's been nights I've been, 10 years ago, I had a gig in Irvine. And it was rain. It was January in California. Coming there. I couldn't see it.
Why is a Subaru so good? Like, what is the big deal about Subaru?
When I first started, I had never sold a car. I was a detailer. I became friends with the guy at Subaru. And he bust my bullet. His name was Peter Pinto from Florida. Peter Pinto. He was a little guy. He said, "Hey, what are you doing?
He was from Florida all the way up to Colorado.
I was probably in $1,500 the first month, and they trained you for 2 weeks on cars. I knew nothing about the car. Like you did. When you had that car and there was no tax refund, you got rid of it because you're not a car guy. You're not going to get up on Saturdays and go to the store. Some people have that.
Those guys love that shit.
Tim Allen, Jay Leno, Gabriel. I love them for that. I don't have that gift. So when I was introduced to the Subaru, I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's just another fucking car. And then I sort of Boulder, Subaru, 4Runner.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm
That's
telling
it.
you, that's it. So,
Yeah.
you know, once the snow drops, that's it. Like usual. That was the secret of my suit.
The engine's time.
It's
I've seen a few engines like that. Right? What do they call that? Inline? How do they,
inline,
is that what it is?
something like that.
No, inline is straight, right? That's like a BMW.
They had a word for it. It's super technology started there. And then when I started selling Subarus, I had a GL10 that I was really impressed with because what it let you do is if you went up Lee Hill Road, okay, and you made the left to go down into your property, snow, you press a button, shock absorber, and your car would rise above so it would go through the snow. So all those little things. The only
They had that way back then?
1988, 89, the GL10s. The only knock Subaru had was that if you had a stick, you couldn't keep your hand on it.
You couldn't keep your hand on the stick.
Right, so if I'm driving a stick, boom, I'm in two,
Right.
two. I'm in three, I gotta keep my hand off. I could only put the clutch cable. That was the only knock they had.
So the clutch cable would break?
It would break if you kept your hand on it too long.
Oh, I had one of those break on me once.
Yeah, so you have to go one, then two, then 3, then 4.
I had it actually break on me twice. Once I got stuck in second gear, and I managed to drive to a parking lot and get towed. It was in, I had a 2005 or something like that. 2004, 2005 Porsche. It just kept breaking. And the thing that kept breaking was that thing with the clutch, and also the fuel pump.
See, that was a GL10 sedan. I'm talking about the wagon, the doodled-up wagon. It was just a brilliant auto. And then I started selling Toyota.
Those things are still on the road.
They're still on the road, guys. And this is what I'm saying about the American dollar. Might be respect to the American dollar.
What do they do?
They give you $1 worth of dollar.
All right.
They really do. For the American who's really looking for a fucking car to last. I've gone into Douglas Toyota and have seen trucks with a million miles on a Toyota truck. That says it. When you're an American, you're a construction guy, you know, you're putting in bids on the box.
Do you know Matt Farron? The Smoking Tire? Do you know that dude? He loves cars. He's got this great YouTube channel. It's all about cars. And they had a car, a Lexus, that they took for 1 million miles. He had a 1 million mile Lexus.
Now, who makes Lexus at the end of the day?
Toyota.
What the fuck are you talking
Yeah,
about?
that's what I'm saying.
So,
I had 3 Lexuses, of course, my life. I got a single problem, zero problem. They just work. They always work.
they just work.
All cars are so amazing now. It's like the bar is set so high. You just get like if you get a Mustang GT, just a Mustang GT today, which is like very reasonable. Like I think a Ford Mustang GT. Tell me how much one of those fucking things cost. But it's got performance that you couldn't even imagine 20 years ago, and it's probably under $50,000. It's probably 40 grand. How much are those?
Starts at 26.
26.
26,000?
Is that for the regular Mustang or the GT?
I think it's just, I typed in GT, but it says regular. Hold on.
Okay, so that's I think the regular one might have a 6-cylinder. I'm not sure. I think they still do that.
Website.
I might be wrong about that.
Premium fastback starts at 39.
Okay, and that's the one with the V8, right? That's the Coyote V8. It's a 5-liter V8. It's fucking wicked powerful, like 460 horsepower. I mean, the power that you get with $40,000, $45,000 today, it's just insane. They keep getting better and better and better. It's like, where are they going to go with these fucking
And the
things?
leases are great.
Oh, yeah.
The leases are great. The deals they're giving you now, I mean, a buddy of mine just bought a car and he got a 1.5, interest rate. Whatever, you know, for a 1.5, mediocre credit. It's a time to buy a car. You
Yeah.
can get whatever the fuck you want. I usually
All
lease.
cars are good now. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like you can't make a shitty car anymore. Like America went through a time period where we just made dog shit cars, and everybody knew that they broke. And everybody was like, "Look, if you buy American cars, you're gonna buy something that's gonna cost the same amount, but it's not gonna last as long." And the Japanese just took the Germans. They just took over.
They took it over. Then Lee Iacocca brought it back with the K car.
You know what's the most hilarious country though for cars? My people. The Italians,
don't get
they
me
never made a
started.
single car that's reliable.
Don't even get me. Remember we had the conversation about my buddy who had the Italian car. He went crazy. I'm gonna keep it in my roots. The car is still in his garage. So rusty. Fucking the Bugatti or whatever the fuck.
Apparently the new ones you can drive. Like a new one, they're actually reliable.
For 2 weeks.
No. The new ones apparently. It's like everything else. They got to a point where they just had to have better
You remember the
electronics.
Triumph?
Yes, I do.
The Triumph. We grew up on the Triumph. The Thing by Volkswagen.
I don't remember that one.
The Thing by Volkswagen.
Was that their little van thing?
It was a little van thing. There's like 10 left. You got a Thing.
Really?
They had a Subaru made a car called the Justy.
Oh, that's it?
That's
Wow.
the Thing. Subaru made a car called the Justy, a 3-cylinder.
Look at that
Just
thing.
to compete with Hyundai when Hyundai came out with the Muppmobile in '87. Hyundai changed the game. Hyundai came out with the Astana, whatever that little 4-door car is. 160, 150 down, 150 a month. Busted the car. Subaru had to compete. Everybody had to drop. Just tin cans just to compete.
There was a lot of people driving those Hyundais when they first came out. 'Cause
Fuck
they were
yeah.
so cheap. A buddy of mine got one.
150 a month. You know, all day long.
A buddy of mine got
All
one
day long.
that I used to drive, deliver papers with. And he was telling me, he's like, look, these fucking Koreans, man, when they get into something, they know what they're doing. Like, if they're going to jump into the car market, that's a disciplined group of people. If they're going to jump into the car market, they're going to make a badass car.
Well, listen.
They're very reliable.
Mitsubishi, for example. Mitsubishi, people hate Mitsubishi. Americans.
Why do they hate Mitsubishi?
Because Mitsubishi made the parts that were in the magnets that the Americans went up against in World War II.
Oh, really?
So if you try to sell a fucking, those guys are all gone. Rest in peace. But when you sold a car to a guy that did the reading on, like there were certain Chryslers, like Mitsubishi parts. Mitsubishi parts. Because Mitsubishi's like the greatest, biggest thing of car parts.
Wasn't it?
So everybody has Mitsubishi parts on their car. Something belongs to Mitsubishi.
So if you had a Mitsubishi, you were a bad person.
No. So some Americans, old school veterans, jackets with that, stuff, when they come to see a car, they show them a Chrysler, a certain type of Chrysler, they got a Mitsubishi fucking tin-wet tailpipe.
That makes sense.
That's how pissed off they were about it, because the Megs would shoot down the Americans or something. It was some
I get it.
historic thing. But then Mitsubishi got into the business. Mitsubishi busted along in like the 80s, the late 80s. They came out with that fucking car, the Eclipse. Remember the Eclipse?
I remember that. Yeah.
Hot little fucking car.
I had a Mitsubishi at one point. I had a Starion. You remember that?
Yeah, everybody had a Mitsubishi because they were cheap. You know, you go into Toyota place to buy a Toyota, listen, you're a mutt. You didn't pay
Here
the water bill.
to speak to that, Dodge used to sell their version of the Starion. It was the Conquest. Dodge had the Conquest TSI, and it was their version of the Starion. It was the same car. It was one of the rare times in history where two car companies have the exact same car. The exact same car. One was the Conquest, one was the Starion. That was it.
Yes. Yeah.
That red one right there looks exactly like my buddy Jimmy DiTelio's.
Yep.
My buddy Jimmy had one exactly like that when we were like 21.
This is why it's very hard for a guy like me to fall for fads, especially for cars. Because I've seen a lot of fads. I remember Suzuki Samurai. How many motherfuckers killed the Suzuki Samurai? Was like the scooter. You know these jerk-offs with the scooters today thinking that they're cool? The Suzuki Samurai came around and it started tipping over. This thing started tipping over. But
Well,
again,
people try to take corners with them
one
as if it's like a
the thing weighed 8 pounds. I had friends tipping them over. They were made of fucking tin. And they were 150 down, 150 a month. And for fucking an extra $25, I had a guy with a fan. Because you would die in these things. People would die.
What the fuck is that thing, Jamie?
They sell these in the Studio City.
What is it?
It's a electric car that's like a one-seater. It's a three-wheel one-seater car.
Believe it.
Electra Mechanica?
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
I think that's it.
Electra, yeah.
Dad, it's crazy, and it's a one-person car?
Yeah, it's a
You know what's
Canadian
good about
car
that
maker,
car?
but
Bro.
It doubles as a casket. That's what's great about that fucking car. That your family saves 10 G's by a casket. They just bury you in that fucking thing.
But if you think about it, if you have to get around everywhere, and it's just you most days, and something like this is cheap, what is the difference between being in that and being in a big truck with all that fucking empty space? You drive
Because
around
you
and
look
Escalade
like
everywhere.
a fucking idiot in that fucking thing. You ever drive past one of these idiots and you're at a light and you actually look at him and you're like, in his mind, he's thinking he's the coolest guy in the fucking world. That guy thinks he's fucking ways.
That has actually a cool looking one. Look at that front hood scoop.
Joe, that's a casket.
Is that the headlight? No, it's a hood scoop. Is that their high beams? What is that?
it looks like headlights. But
I think that's actually a real hood scoop. For some strange reason.
plastic piece of
Yeah, what is that? Is that clear plastic over it? Is that what I'm looking at?
Could be because it's inside, but I don't know.
I'm telling
So
you.
crazy.
That's like the RX-7. The RX-7 was a casket for two.
Was it?
Remember the Mazda RX-7?
Yeah.
I fucking hated that car. I was coming home one day. I don't want to say that. I was tripping on some type of drug, but I wasn't over the hill. I was still alert. And we were like maybe the third car there. And it was a Mazda that had hit a pole. Head on. And it just blew.
Oh my God.
Ambulance. A couple saw the car, and that's why I don't like those little cars. That's the gaskets. In those days, after that, I never got an RX-7. My buddy the Devil had an RX-7.
Were they the ones with the rotary engine?
I don't know.
Does Mazda have? There's a sports car company that uniquely has a rotary engine. It's a different kind of engine. It's not like cylinders. Is that it? It is Mazda? Yeah, they got a different kind of engine, Joe.
Mazda's a good
You ever
car.
Dude, I drove one of
Mazda's
the
a good car.
more modern Mazdas
Mazda's a good car.
in like 2000, maybe? No, it was like 90s. Like before, okay, it was before I moved to California. See, look at that thing. That's how the engine works. Instead of having a bunch of pistons, it's got this big fucking thing in the middle of it. Like, I wish I understood engines to know why this is that different.
Now,
it's
regular engines have the things
pistons.
that go like this.
Pistons. Real car people must be going crazy right now.
I know,
These
I'm sorry,
fucking
ladies and
idiots.
gentlemen. It's been years.
They don't know shit. So we're watching this video that says Mazda RX-7 rotary engine, how it works, and it's describing how it works. Is a very strange video where you're watching this thing rolling around inside of an oval. It looks like a big oval engine container. It's very different, but it's very fast. It was the one that this guy had. I guess, like I'm saying, I think it's 93 or something like that. It was really fast. It really handled really well. But it was a very loud car. These things are weird, man. Like rotary engine, that's weird. Like how come nobody else?
Oh my
like,
God.
but it looks like a badass watch, you know?
See, I didn't have a car
Are you
education,
serious?
but by selling cars in Boulder, I learned a lot. Now I forget that stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you because the level of intelligence in Boulder from the university when they would come in, remember Boulder. At the end of the day, University of Colorado.
I was eating.
Be an astronaut. You know that.
Is that what it is?
Like that's heavy duty Boulder. They have like a whole thing back there. So they move into town between them and the Japanese that moved there. They come to Subaru and they ask very intelligent questions. Completely different than a guy like you, me, or Jamie would ask.
Are you saying we're dumb?
Yes, compared to what they'd ask.
Like what kind of questions?
You know,
The light of the
velocity,
covenant
this,
shines
this, and I'd
within
have to find these answers for them. Because they were like astronauts. I'd have to go in, computers in 80 like that I could go on. So I'd have to go on a brochure and really go into it, and then they'd take the calculator out. Like they were those type of people. So that's why I remember learning not as much as I could because they were so intelligent. When they'd come over, especially the Japanese guys, they couldn't speak that good English. But they would look at cars. What's this? What's the weight?
That's what's really amazing if you stop and think about the creation of cars and how they've evolved and they keep getting better. For a long time, they did it without the internet. Long time. Some of the greatest cars ever created, pre-internet. You know? Just think about all the various forms of sports cars and 911s, all those different Corvettes that came out. All that shit was before the internet. They were just looking at each other's pictures and looking at magazines. Everyone was competing against each other to have the best handling car, the best looking car, best fuel efficiency. Things kept shifting over the years. Like for 10 years in America, they didn't make anything good. And for 10 years.
What were the years?
It was the years from American muscle cars. When I say anything good, I mean like something that like a muscle car lover, other than the Trans Am. The Trans Am was the exception to the rule. Trans Am, they made some, you know, those Smokey and the Bandit cars that people to this day still want. That was in the 70s. But from the 1960s, like say 65-ish to like 70, America couldn't be touched. Those muscle cars were insane. They just kept pumping out cooler and cooler shapes.
What did
Classics.
Steve McQueen drive?
He drove a 1968 fastback Mustang.
Is that a bad motherfucker?
Oh yeah.
How bad of a motherfucker is that
Well,
car?
it's a beautiful car. The design is the back end of a '68 Mustang is one of the most underrated forms in all of automotive design. That's a '68 Shelby. That's different. That's a GT500. It's a totally different shape. The Shelby had a completely different set of rear taillights. They had quite a bit about the Shelby, like the way it looks in the front end as well. His regular 68 Mustang just has this beautiful, like, contoured rear end. Look at that. Look at that. That green car. That's like a real modern looking, like, updated version of it. Real pretty, you know? With a phenomenal deep green paint job. But look how good that rear looks.
So that's what he drove.
That's what he drove, motherfucker. Look at that. That is Americana, baby. Look at the tail end of that fucking vehicle, man, with the chrome and the chrome bumpers and the red headlights and the black behind. Look at that fucking car, man.
No seatbelt.
Well, they had those ones around your waist.
Yeah, like in the back, you
Yeah,
have no
waist belt.
seatbelt.
No, there's no seatbelt in the back. You bounced around like fucking rock back there.
How many horsepower? and something
Not
like
that
in those
much. Not that much, man. A really powerful car back then had like 350 horsepower. Like, let's find out, what was the 1968 GT500? That was their most powerful one. I'm gonna imagine this had like 400 horsepower. Say 1968, just Shelby GT500 horsepower. 1968 Shelby GT, because that was their. What they would do is they take it to Carroll Shelby. Carroll Shelby would take the regular Mustang and just juice it the fuck up. More power, better handling, better looks. Here it
Now,
goes.
who were they
400, perfect. There.
Now, who were they competing with? Like, what was? This is Ford, right?
Yeah, they were competing against the Camaro at this point because they made a
And the
larger
Corvette.
car.
And the Corvette.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of. The Corvette was like a little bit of a different category because it was a pure sports car, where this car had back seats. So that's a 400 horsepower. So compared to the Mustang of today, the regular GT, forget about their new one. They have a new GT500 that has like 760 horsepower. The new GT500 goes 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. It's a monster
Which
car.
one were they making for that movie that just came out?
That was the
Ford vs Ferrari
Oh,
for the Le Mans.
I don't
think
know.
That's what it was for.
I think was that about race car? I didn't see
Yeah,
that movie.
it was about Shelby. It was him making that car. I think like they had
Oh,
2
really?
weeks to make it or 2 days to make. I didn't see the movie yet.
Well, probably for the movie they juiced that up, right? I don't know. I thought they were race cars though. I didn't think they were like these kind of cars. It was like a GT car.
Hey,
I don't know.
didn't
Though.
see it. Oh yeah, I guess it is the GT500. Maybe that's what that was for.
Yeah, I think it's not even the GT500. I think it's the GT40,
me
which
just
is their
look.
race car. I think because I'm pretty sure I saw in the. I didn't see the
Yeah,
movie.
I thought you would have known. I thought you might have saw it.
I think it's a different GT. I think it's their actual race car. But the new one, Shelby has a new GT500. It's a ridiculous car. It's faster around tracks than the new Corvette. They have a new Corvette, this crazy rear-engined, mid-engined rather Corvette. It's their newest Corvette. It's the best Corvette ever. And this GT500 is even faster than that. It's bonkers.
Right. Yeah, GT40.
Yeah, it's a different kind of car. That's a
66.
car that's only for the racetrack. These guys, you could buy a Shelby GT500 today. You walk out of a dealer showroom. Hi, do you know how to drive? Yes, sir. Here's my license. Like, you don't have to hardly know shit. And they'll let you just drive home in one of the most preposterous automobiles ever offered to man. You can just go right into a Ford dealership, and if you have I'm going to say a Shelby GT500's $80,000. How much does that cost? But a brand new Shelby GT500.
Wait, I gotta go pee real
You got to
quick.
pee already?
Oh, I had to
What
drive.
happened?
Yeah.
Okay. How much does one of those cost?
72.9.
That's crazy.
760 horsepower.
So for $73,000, you can buy a car that is so fast. If you really can know that there's a difference between the speed of that and then the next car after that, the next car that's more powerful, you really should be in jail.
LCD
Oh, it's dope as fuck.
changing cluster for your
Yeah.
screens.
Well, a lot of cars are doing that now because they can get so much more information in front of you instead of just the standard gauges. But dude, there's still something about them standard
Did you
gauges.
see the Mustang electric car?
Yes.
Not bad.
It's not bad at all. It's like a fat Mustang, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? They're using the Mustang name for other shit now. That's controversial. That could cause a problem. Why not just come up with another name? That's not a Mustang. You know that's not a Mustang. That's an SUV.
Yeah, what about it makes it a Mustang if it's
Right. Why are
if
you
it's
doing
electric?
that? They're talking about doing that with Corvette, too. The Corvette could branch off and become a brand like Cadillac is. You know, Cadillac is a brand. It's, you know, it's synonymous with luxury. Like, you think of Cadillacs. But it's a GM car. And if they decide to take the Corvette model and just make it a brand, and so have dope SUVs, like fast, racy SUVs, fast, racy four-door sedans.
Hey, whatever sells cars, man. Because did you see that Tesla's now valued at as much as GM and Ford together combined?
Yeah, whoops, guys. Fucking dummies. He's a super genius. Just back off. It's hilarious, right?
Yeah, it's still going up today. Like,
Guy makes amazing cars. He makes amazing fucking cars. We're talking about Elon Musk. Tesla is worth more today than, what is it? What's the stock?
GM and Ford, I think it's over 500 now, but like the market value is they're combined.
Yeah, and everybody was saying it was going to fall apart.
I think it's a beautiful car, guys, but I got to give it more time. Especially the self-driving shit. My buddy has it's beautiful. He's got the electronic one. The
Which
one
one?
you plug in.
Which one, though?
I don't know.
Is it
gorgeous.
Tesla?
Yeah, Tesla,
Yeah.
gorgeous. But he was telling me to go to San Diego. You got to stop in Commerce City.
Yep.
And plug it in for 20 minutes and sit there like a bump on a log.
Yep, you do.
You know, there's just so many different charging places. I took an Uber a couple of weeks ago. I got into a car that was just amazing. That blew me away. A fucking Honda Accord hybrid. So they're making everything.
Accord they make some nice Accords.
Now this car, you know,
Accords are
listen,
beautiful.
you get in a Honda, you get in a Toyota sometimes. Not Toyota as much, but Mitsubishi. What's the other one? Hyundai. When you close the door, there's a lightness in the metal. That's where you see there's a lightness. Like, it closes a certain way. When I get in your fucking Porsche and I close it, that makes a certain noise. You know, it's a distinct noise.
You never been in my little tiny one. I got a 1993 964. It's a real light car, but the metal in it is so much thicker than
You
any
feel the
metal you've
gauge.
ever used
I
today.
like all that.
This door is like a chunk. When you close the door, chunk. Like you could feel the weight to it. You feel when you tap the fenders too. There's no give. It's a different structure. Totally different.
So I was blown away even by the Honda Accord hybrid. You know, what we're paying for gas. I mean, it's just a great little car. I'm looking at a couple different options. I was in Huntington Beach.
You're thinking about going away from Subaru?
Adding something to my collection just because.
You need to get a Cadillac.
I got a fucking.
I've always said you need a Cadillac. You should have had a Cadillac a long
Cadillac
time
is
ago.
a badass.
You should be a Cadillac man.
That dude gave me a ride last week. I was in Huntington Beach and I took a special an Uber special, and it was that Cadillac. And he told me exactly how he got it, what the scam is with them, how to do it. He hasn't had a problem. The battery died, and that's their main knock.
The battery's
That
died?
one day you wake up, I gotta go to the comedy store, my battery's dead. I'll fucking choke you, Joe Rogan. You know, I'll choke you. I get in my Subaru, the battery's never dead.
I wonder if they're more reliable now. I don't know anything about them. I've never owned one, but I've rented a ton of them.
Fucking gorgeous.
That's a beautiful
gorgeous.
car.
And when you sit in it, you're
What
tight.
model is that?
TS.
That's a CTS.
CTSV.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
That's a beautiful fucking car, man. Look at that front end. The design is just it's so interesting. It's like
After I left here the last time, or the last two times, a guy reached out and said he would give me one
you need a Cadillac.
for $560 a month, a lease, zero down.
Take it.
Bop.
Joey, I want to see you strolling around in a Cadillac. I would love it. Bumping Biggie.
I can't
Biggie,
do it.
Biggie, Biggie. Can't
And
you
the
see?
Subaru I love
Sometimes
that I
words,
have,
they hypnotize
but people
me.
are like, dog, why are you driving a lesbian car? People always say that shit to me. And it hurts my feelings. Like, why are you driving a lesbian car? Dog, it's not a lesbian car. It's a fucking Subaru, man.
You love a reliable car. I respect that about you.
I want to get in the car and start it. I don't want to be in service.
I don't think these things are
I don't
unreliable
wanna,
anymore.
You know, I got free service. The warranties they give you now are fucking, Volkswagen, which nobody buys.
Look at that,
gives
Joey.
you- What is that?
That's a Cadillac.
Oh, that's fucking
CTSV. Look at that fucking car. Is that the coupe? Is that a four-door? It's hard to tell because the picture's so dark. That's a four-door? That's two. Yeah, see that little rear window? That's not like a full window. Wow, that's a beautiful car, man. They make some killer... You know what's a killer fucking car right now if you want an SUV? Lincoln Navigator. The new one is insane.
I wonder what happened to Lincoln. Are they still in business?
They only make the Navigator, and then they make one or two other luxury coupes.
Lincoln
which are
made
very
some
nice.
Beautiful cars.
Their cars
when I was a
now are
kid.
very nice.
Gorgeous. Then they went away. Like they just.
Well, this
the Lincoln
Navigator's the
Continental
biggest
was
thing.
big. They
Yeah.
sold 10 million of those to limo
Oh
drivers.
yeah.
Then they stopped production on them, so I didn't know what was going on with Lincoln Continental. They just tapped out.
You know what's the shit? Is those 1965s with the suicide doors? Come on, son. You know, I'm never that bold. I could not buy one of those cars. You go rolling around in one of those 1965 Lincoln Continentals with the suicide doors, like holy
What
shit.
did the Green Hornet drive?
Did he drive a Continental?
See what he drove, Jamie.
Green Hornet.
He used to get out and open the door sideways for whatever his name was, the Black Beauty.
Chrysler Imperial Crown.
A beautiful fucking
Wow.
vehicle.
Let me see a picture of that. 1966 Chrysler. Look at that thing. we're looking at picture one, ladies and gentlemen, that looks like it has machine guns that poke out of the hood.
Well,
and missiles.
That was the Black Beauty.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
But I always like the way
Ooh,
the
look
doors
at that thing.
opened. Yeah,
That's the
no.
car?
Yeah.
What a fucking car. Who made that one? No, that's a resto mod. Oh, is
it's
that
for
the
the
new
movie. That's
Green
from the
Hornet?
movie,
Oh,
yeah.
the new one. That was the new one with Seth Rogen, right? Yeah, I didn't see that one.
No, I want to know the one with
Ooh,
Bruce Lee
look
drove.
at that one.
Look at that one.
People don't understand. We're a little too young for it, but people don't understand what an impact Bruce Lee had when he was doing the Green Hornet. When people saw him do martial arts moves the way he did on screen, like people wanted to. I mean, you have to think about how many people would watch a TV show back then. Like, if you had a TV show, there's only like 3 different things to watch, right? Like, if you had a TV show, you had the entire country watching one of 3 things. And if you had a big show like the Green Hornet was,
The Green Hornet aired on Sunday nights, so it was like stealing.
Yeah, everyone's home.
You either had Lawrence Welk on fucking Channel 7 on ABC. Look at these things. Look, 1968. You didn't see this.
look at that guy drop.
And he just traumatized NBC. NBC was traumatized. They only did 6 episodes.
Look how bad their
Yeah.
fucking fight scenes are. Look at these white guys faking punches. Oh my God. It's hilarious to see like old school bad TV like fight acting, like where you know the punch didn't hit him and the hair goes flying. It's so weird, especially because we're not playing any of the volume, so we're just watching it. So when you're watching with no volume, you get to really see how preposterous it is.
How many TV shows did that guy do? That
Bruce Lee?
No, that Spanish dude did about 1,000 episodes of different TV shows from the late 60s all through the 70s.
Who is it?
I don't know what
He's
his
the
name
guy
is.
that was starring right there?
Yeah,
That guy?
Like,
Oh, I don't
that
know who
guy
the
was
fuck
like,
that
you know,
guy is.
character actors were like fucking so huge back then. But Bruce Lee came on Sunday nights. I still remember driving back from Miami with my family and like being pissed because I missed Bruce Lee. Then they canceled it. You didn't see nothing about Bruce Lee again, bro.
How long was it between that and the big movies?
It was about a year and a half that kung fu movies were mainstream. 5 Fingers of Death came out. Five Fingers of Death. It was all about the iron palm technique. The guy would look at you and his palm would turn pink. And that started with that. And then Fist of Fury came out. But I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I went to see Fist of Fury in the movie theater. I don't remember. When Chinese Connection came out, that's what changed the ball game. But see, it pisses me off today. You know, when I see fucking people 20 years old talking about the impact of Bruce Lee or whatever. First off, let's get this straight. Bruce Lee was a tough guy, but he wasn't going to beat Muhammad Ali.
That was so silly.
Okay, he wasn't going to beat Muhammad Ali. He was, you know, whatever. Bruce Lee meant that the little guy had hope. Bruce Lee gave the immigrant hope. You know, that's what all these guys, well, Bruce Lee fucking, he changed everybody. He put a little bounce in the step.
He changed martial arts.
He changed martial arts, but he gave you hope. The movie theaters were packed. Martial arts schools were packed. Black people were going crazy because nobody suffered anymore. Did you see Dolomite yet?
No, I still haven't seen it.
Again, you know, you gotta watch these shits if I'm gonna come on the show because when Dolomite, did you see it? When he
The new
sells
one, you mean the new one?
Yeah.
I saw the Rudy Ray Moore one.
First of all, fucking our boy stole the show. Our boy, the dude who you were gonna fucking MMA,
Oh, Wesley Snipes?
stole the fucking movie. Okay, bad motherfucker.
He's a bad motherfucker.
Bad motherfucker. You know, I'm sick and tired of these people going, well, what happened to him? Nothing happened to him. Well,
he went
David
to
Tell.
jail.
What happened to David Tell? David Tell is getting stronger every week. What, you're looking at some fucking idiot jumping up and down on Netflix. David Tell is getting stronger and stronger. When you go see David Tell, it's like people going crazy right now about Uncut Gems. Shit, Adam Sandler's been around for 30 years. He's got something for your ass. It may not be goofy, jumping up and down and wetting you, but when he did, have you seen Uncut Gems?
I heard it's great.
Just go for him, to cheer him on, to go, you know what? Thank God. Because people think that we're like fucking mooks as comics. I'll hit you from fucking 90 different directions. You could just act, bitch. We could do it all. And when we get 30 years under our belt, we become weapons. Like Jimmy Smith, like any of these people that have been doing it for 30 plus fucking years. Eventually, you're going to get fucking good at it.
Yeah.
So, I still didn't see the Tarantino movie. I saw the Joker.
Tarantino movie's amazing.
I won't say it out of disrespect for Bruce Lee. I saw the Joker.
Well, it's
I just don't even want to go there with nobody.
Yeah,
I'm not in the
I know.
mood. If he didn't fucking live through it, I don't want to hear his fucking take on it.
It's not it doesn't make sense.
It disrespected Shannon, so it means it disrespected me. You disrespected my fucking pal, and now I don't even know Shannon Lee.
Yeah.
But if a bunch of people got fired up, I watched the Joker. I liked it.
The Joker was intense.
I liked the Joker. It was intense. I saw Uncut Gems during the break. I went to Christmas night. My fucking girls went to sleep, so I slid over to the Lemley, ate 3 edibles, and my heart was beating with that fucking, because that movie's Joey Diaz, 83 to 84. Whatever you want to do, we're going to do. What do you want to do? Joe Rogan, listen, I got something coming next week. Let me get 20 G's till next week. There ain't no next week. Jamie, don't say nothing to Rogan. I need 10 to fucking put this number in. And it just goes. Think of your life from there. You're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, and then you're telling Jesus to suck your dick. It's nonstop.
Yeah,
I went to see. People said
like that.
people were like, "Don't get high and go see it." Fuck you! I'm going deep to go see it. I prepared like at 8
Who's in
o'clock.
that?
Huh?
Who's in it?
Just Adam Sandler and a bunch of fucking whatevers. It's just a movie of the basketball player that you don't know. Kevin Garnett.
Oh, okay.
It's nonstop.
So it's mostly Sandler, and it's like
Sandler bumping into what happened to my 30?
Oh wow.
I'll catch you next week. I gotta go. Yeah, you motherfucker. It's fucking constant. It's, that life. And then is an Academy Award winner. I don't fucking know. I took it home. I wore it for a couple days. It's okay. Is anything an fucking Academy Award winner anymore? I watched The Irishman. You didn't see it yet either. So
No.
Again, you go skiing for 3 hours. What are you doing on these flights? You look at Ian Edwards, wait for him to go to sleep, then you go to sleep, you fuck. That's when I watch these 3-hour movies. I can't watch them at home. I got a 7-year-old.
So you just watch them on flights. On flights, I try to write. Sometimes I've come up with some of my best bits while writing.
No. That's after the movie. But it's a 5-hour and 51-minute flight.
That's true.
So I usually do a little, I listen to music, I get tuned up, I eat whatever they give me. I fucking put the movie on, and I got the notebook right on the iPad. So if something comes to me, you tighten it up, and then you got the whole night that night in your hotel room. But no, I like The Irishman.
Do you write on your iPad?
Yeah, lately I remember.
Do you write
I got a notebook.
on the screen, or do you have one of those detachable keyboards?
I have the keyboard with the screen, and I just type like I'm usual, so that's why I put the final product now. So now I have a notebook still where I fuck around, put different stupid ideas. And then once the joke works, I put it on the iPad now, and now I can add text to it.
Oh,
It's not like I used to before, so now I have...
But you're just typing on the iPad screen, just like a phone, right? Like you don't have a keyboard that you
No, I have a
attach to it.
keyboard.
Oh, you have a
It
separate
closes,
key.
yeah.
Oh,
So I
okay.
have the Apple
okay.
one with the big screen.
Yes, okay.
It
cool.
saved my life. The best thing that ever happened.
When you
No
do that,
Twitter.
it's basically like a little laptop.
Listen to me. No Twitter. No Facebook. No nothing. I got YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, and that writing app. That's it. That's for the hotel room.
That's good for your head.
Friday
right?
night, nobody fucking. If you Facebook me on Friday night and I'm on the road, you gotta suck my dick. Twitter, the same thing. I don't want to look at it on the road. That's a distraction. So on the road, I don't want to do podcasts. I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
I want to lift a little bit, maybe go to a fucking local kickboxing school and do a workout. But I want to focus on that riding. Not 6 hours worth. I ain't no fucking Hemingway. Just to make little adjustments from the night before.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, you know, you got this time when you're on the road, and you can use it in a way that's gonna help you. It can be beneficial, or you can just use it. So one of two things, right? You got to figure out like what's optimal for you when you're on the road. For me, I always have better sets when I work out.
You have to work out.
Always.
You have to work out.
I don't like that weird fog that I feel when I fly into somewhere and then I just like get ready for the show. I'm like, God, it's fucking. There's something about like it's hard to get everything going. But if you just get on an elliptical machine for 20 minutes,
That's it, 20
just
minutes.
listen to some good music and just say, there's no option. You have to do this. Just fucking do this. Once 10 minutes gets going and you're sweating, you're having a good time. Then you're fine.
We've been
Then you're good
friends.
for 40 minutes or more.
We've been friends for 20 years. You've been taking me on the road for 20 of those years. We could not do what we were doing 20 years on the road today. Not because I'm not calling you out, because you have children, you have a wife, you have 1,000 other responsibilities. So Tuesdays and
Yeah, you
Wednesdays
can't do those shows anymore.
are out.
Yeah,
They're
and Sunday's out too.
Sunday's out too. So
It's
now,
also, it's like, you can get a lot out of that when you're in those early stages like we were when we were learning how to do the road. There's a lot you get out of those Wednesday through Sunday weeks.
you know why? Because by Friday, you want to stab yourself in the throat from saying the same joke.
Yep.
So you wake up Saturday morning and you write like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And Saturday, you got 3 shows. Remember, we went through this 3-show pattern. You
3
were the
on
one that
Saturdays,
said to
yeah.
me, we're not doing midnight anymore. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's the law of diminishing returns. You didn't even know a joke you fucking said by midnight.
Yep.
Even if you stayed sober. You didn't smoke then. We were sober.
Yeah.
Judges. You still out here like, did I fucking say this bit? So that's just a burnout. That's the law of diminishing returns. Sundays,
People are tired. They don't have the same reaction on Sunday. usually.
you and I were never tired then, but there was no children involved. There was no serious girlfriends involved. There was not a lot of, the podcast wasn't involved. There was a lot of different things then. Now, my schedule has to be this. You want me to tell you something? I could fucking take the Friday flight to LA. I could take the Friday 6-hour flight at 6 a.m., land in Cali at 2, and be at town hall ready to go at 8. But do I really want to do that? Do I need to do that? No. Fuck it, at 6 a.m. on Thursday. Get to New York at 2, take a little nap. At 4, go downstairs, do the elliptical, get 2 5-pound shadow box in 10 minutes, because ain't nothing better for you than shadow boxing. Breaks a tremendous sweat,
Yep.
a ball jab. You go upstairs,
You're also moving.
you're banging out the shower,
Woo.
you get yourself up, and you go
Hey.
off and you go for a nice steak. And you get to see the town, and then I do what I learned from my brother Joe Rogan. You leave a fucking huge tip, and they go out for employee night. The word gets out that Joe Rogan in town. Friday morning, you wake up, the show sold out. I don't have to go do a radio. You know what I'm saying? That's the plan.
Yeah.
And then you get up Friday and you go to a local kickboxing school. How cool is that? Just to,
Yeah.
and they're looking at you like, Mr. Rogan, you should, I'm doing the class. I want to meet a few people. You get more out of that than anything. They talk to you, they bust your balls a little bit, but then you get an Uber set to pick you up. And you go back to the hotel, you actually got out and you were social before the show. Now I could go back to that hotel room and stay there for 6 hours and dig it. You write for one, you throw an episode of The Sopranos on for one, you throw an episode of something else, then you go back to writing. Maybe you take a nap, take a nice 20-minute shower, do a 7 o'clock show. In case you sell out, you do the second show, but if not, you're back in your room at 10:30. Little room service. You throw on a movie you haven't seen, you eat an edible. You're up at 5, you're at the airport at 6, you're back at LAX at 9.
I want to see this documentary. Sounds perfect.
That's what works for me now for me to be the most effective. You know, I could be a gavone and go out there on Wednesdays, but by Saturday, I'm not going to be a good comic.
Yeah, I think we
I'm not
still
going to be a good comic.
put in the reps and put in the reps in town. It's just about reps. You know, as many reps as you can get. The thing about the road when you're doing those Wednesday through Sundays is that you're getting long reps. You're getting like hour sets every show.
Which is great too. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not I think for me, as where we're at now, I want to give them 150% every show. Last night I went to the comedy store and I got 2 dick suckings. Right. I sucked a bag of dick. And then I took that same regular room and sucked another bag of dicks. But I wanted to try new material. See, I was failing in the past. I was going to all these other clubs and going, let me not try shit at the comedy store. Listen, you bring everything to the comedy store and let the pieces go where they're made. It's 15 to get in. You do know that. They're going to see 22 comics.
And they're going to see 22 comics that headline all over the
Yeah,
world.
so suck my dick. I'm going to go up there and give you 150%, but I'm going to go up there and try new shit. Last night I was talking about that we've all as men at one time or another Me Too'd somebody. That's how you learn not to be a Me Too'er, is by Me Too'ing somebody one time, and then you go, that wasn't right, and then I'll never Me Too again. For me,
That's
I was
a weird adjective.
Oh, and I started out with it. I opened up with it to really put myself in the fucking hole of death. I might as well go out there with a
Is that an adverb? What is that?
Me Too'ing?
Is it a verb? Do you Me Too somebody?
That'd be an adverb. Yeah. It's like a,
Yeah.
The only way you learn how to the only way you learn how to not be a Me Too'er is by Me Too'ing. You shoplifted candy when you were a kid, right?
Yes.
And your mother told you smacking, she goes, that's not right. Same thing with Me Too'ing. This LA is a fucking, Me Too was invented here. They fucked Marilyn Monroe to death. They fucked her to death. Her vaginal thing looked like that fucking embassy in Tehran, whatever they bombed.
What was that famous Fatty Arbuckle case? Where there was a...
That's just disgusting people out here.
Yeah.
This is, between the Bikram documentary, did you see that one?
I didn't see that,
That filthy fucking animal getting women to suck that fucking 90-degree weather, 6 yoga session dick. That's just cruelty to animals. You could put you in jail for just sucking that dick. Harvey, all that shit happens here. But as men, we all Me Too somebody when you were a kid by mistake. And for me, I was in love with this lady named Faye. She was 37, had big juicy tits. She'd wear hot pants. I was about 14. I had never even seen a vagina. No titties, nothing.
The Surface Studio laptop is Microsoft's new, powerful flagship laptop. So this is the laptop you can convert to a tablet, but it's got a weird sort of folding hinge mechanism thing. It's fixed. The screen's not removable like this book, but you can flip around the other way.
They don't call it a tablet because it's heavy and thick.
THICC.
Very thick. But it's got Thunderbolt 4 and discrete GPU, and the GPU can never be unplugged, and yeah.
Yep. No interest in those Surface laptops, but this one, I want this.
The Surface Pro 8 is a media-centric 13-inch tablet with a 128Hz Dolby Vision display. This one doesn't have Thunderbolt, does it? It does. Okay, that's good. Because I didn't think they were ever going to put Thunderbolt on their Surface. I wanted Thunderbolt on the Surface Pro 4 versions ago, and finally, they're just adding it.
I think that's one of the few things that they did over the last version. Obviously, the upgraded hardware. They said it's going to be twice as fast. But make the bezel smaller, add Thunderbolt 4,
More
and
RAM. You can get up to 32 gigs RAM now.
they did something else too.
LTE.
Oh, the display.
Oh yeah.
120 hertz display. So yeah, I actually priced them, and if you go for the i7 with the lowest amount of storage, it's right at 1500. So you could either have that phone, or
this. Yeah.
This is an order of magnitude better, at least.
Yeah. It's hard to catch those with any kind of discounts. Microsoft is. Well, this was certainly a big story, wasn't it? Talk about just grinding it out.
Now, it's funny though, if you read the court transcript, the judge actually asked Apple about this before the thing, like now Apple, depending on the way I rule, just before the rule, is Epic allowed? Well,
I think everybody got against here. And Tim Sweeney was the one to uncover this. We know that it's definitely true.
He angry tweeted it. Bloomberg reports that Apple has banned Fortnite until all appeals are exhausted and lost in probably about 5 months. What I was saying was that before the judge rules, the judge said, is it anything other than Epic? And Apple's lawyer said in the court case that Epic would be welcomed back as long as they're willing to follow the rules. That is in fact not true.
But the thing that was unspoken there was if we unilaterally win this case.
Yeah. They did not unilaterally win. They mostly won, though.
Not enough.
But not enough.
Has to be obvious.
Yeah, and that's why I saw this coming, which is why I said that if they're able to give everybody else what they will never be able to obtain, because they're not going to
Yeah, and what are the odds that Fortnite is relative to all these opinions?
Great.
I mean, I'm amazed it's still going on right now.
Although they are moving in a different direction with respect to they're doing the comment section client for Linux, which I never thought that Epic would do, and they're also thinking maybe about launching an Epic Games launcher for Linux.
That's a minuscule market share.
Yeah, but it's going to get the headlines.
I guess. I don't think that the same people who will be happy about that are the people who are going to be angry about iOS not having Fortnite. It's a Venn diagram that does not touch. And when it comes to Apple, maybe you're on their side here, because, both companies here behave poorly. And they did have a contract, and Epic did violate it. But if you're an Apple fanboy and you're like, oh, they're fine.
You should watch
these videos.
Will make you angry.
This is like the videos. But it won't have that. The same way that the Purdue Pharma videos never changed anything.
Aren't these opiates addictive? No, less than 1/10 of 1%.
Oh, they're certainly not. You can take all the OxyContin you want. You'll have no side effects. And you can only use the authorized parts. If you use any other kind of glass on an iPhone, those are two absolute truths.
Leaked Apple training videos on how it underlies third-party repairs. 8 leaked training videos show how Apple instructs repair partners to buy expensive parts when cheap ones will do. This coaches the repair people on what to say to customers when they say things like, but can't I get expensive touch glass from the guy down the road for like $20? Isn't it basically the same? All it is just the touch glass. And Apple will say, no, that's not a genuine Apple part.
Well, they never say no. They're very careful about not saying no.
Because you don't want them to throw into a tantrum in the middle of the store.
Yeah, the overwhelming majority of the training videos are not like how to fix the phone. It's this conversation tree of how to counter every argument, every reasonable argument on why they would go next door and pay a third of the price. That's the training. It's gotta be soul crushing. I mean, look, if you repair Apple equipment for a living, you deserve what you get. But it's gotta be soul crushing.
I don't know, Louis Rossman, he does okay. But yeah, his soul's definitely crushed.
I'm not on that man. Drives me crazy. The sick fan behavior with that. And, when you have, he has a very, very high level of skill. So he's able to maybe, get above all the noise.
He really is insane.
But the average Apple repair is not him.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're going to have to deal with that. The same way that if you have a really high level of skill with the blockchain, you can pretty much get a really good job.
Tracking stolen cryptocurrency and turning into business is how blockchain somethings are tracking down digital loot.
Sleuths, I think, is the word.
This talks about where a bunch of it was stolen and tethered. Changes all banded together before the tether could be, so they invalidated it and gave it to the owners and stole it, actually gave it up voluntarily. So they were able to get everything back. And it's a really interesting case study in the mechanism of how do you recover stolen cryptocurrency? What do you do? What are the options?
And they say that it's all about the response time. So somebody was monitoring and actually figured this out the next day or the same day or something like that. And they have this, it's kind of like a murder. The longer they have to get that money out of there, the less chance you have of solving it or getting it. And here they were just like, oh, there it is, go get it. They canceled the trades. It's also an argument against the central or something like that, because they can do that. They want to.
How long did you think about that? Someone to reverse a transaction that benefited, a country on the naughty list.
That is a negative amount of time. You know they have done that. TSMC. They make chips, and if you're not aware, making chips
Printing money.
It's a dirty business. Well, printing money is it's basically printed with resources, natural resources.
Yeah.
You take beautiful, clean water and air and human life, and you smush it into these little wafers.
It goes into basically a food process.
And they're so good. We love them so much. But they take a lot of pressure for that. They point out that a digital device, about 70% of the cost to the earth for that device comes before it's sold. So like you're charging and running stuff, and this is true for your car as well, the damage is already done. So what can you do? Well, they've set a date. What worries me about this date is I wonder if the T in TSMC will still be there in 2050. I think that's what's at risk
The
here.
entire rest of the planet had better hope so. World's largest chip foundry, TSMC, sets a 2050 deadline to go carbon neutral.
For reference, I'll be 60 years old in 2050. So, only 30 years from now.
Good lord. That's a lot of carbon, though. I mean, that's basically planting Brazil every time they, every year, I guess.
But they've got this carbon capture stuff now. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really understand it.
Yeah.
But apparently, for a fairly low price per chip, I think it's on the magnitude of like $20.
Capture. They're already working on dealing with the wastewater better. Like you can scrub the wastewater, but it's still not quite as pure as like the original water. And they're working on waste capture there as well. Semi-manufacturing uses an insane amount of water, but depending upon how you can really use the water. You gotta make dang sure that it's super clean.
Well, Amazon, we know that they kicked off a massive, massive hiring wave, especially going into the holidays with the supply chain such that it is. I think they know how crazy it's going to get. And I think this headline and this behavior from them is directly related to what they're seeing during that hiring blitz. Because I think they're turning away a lot of talent that they wish they weren't.
Amazon says that workers and applicants that have been fired or otherwise barred during the marijuana screening are now eligible for employment. So if you were a driver and you got kicked out for drug screening, come back, please. There's no one else. We're sorry.
And they are going to lobby for the legalization so that they can maintain that, because they churn a lot of workers. They need a constant churn.
It's sad that's what it took, right?
Well, the question is, how quickly will that happen? I think it's probably inevitable at this point, right?
Yeah.
But the powers that be, especially the DEA, could stretch it out for another 5 to 10 years.
Also, if you look at it from the shoe on the other foot, how insane is it that you literally can't find enough people that have the minimum level of talent necessary to be an Amazon delivery driver? Do you think maybe you're expecting too much of your delivery drivers? Maybe scale back on the number of packages that they're expected to deliver?
We have a story about that later.
Yeah, and after reading that story, I would try almost anything else.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably rather work fast food.
So again, they are probably expecting too much of their drivers and employees.
They say that they're going to do, like, they're not going to screen, obviously, anymore, but they are going to do some kind of, like, observing during the workday to make sure that you're not high. And I wonder if somebody's working on the wristband algorithm to try and detect slowdown or something.
I think it probably goes far beyond that. In 5 or 10 years, it'll be an almost unrecognizable position. They're gonna be wearing an augmented reality thing, and like they're going to turn the smile into some sort of augmented reality companion, and it's like, gee, Timmy, don't you think you're going a little fast? Or, gee, Timmy, if you put the large packages toward the driver's front as you load the van, you'll have an easier time unloading it as you do whatever.
And you can't take it off.
Yeah. No.
It's like, the bracelet or the ankle bracelet they give you when you're a drunk driver.
Yeah.
So you're at home, it's like, Timmy, you packed that bong 6 times tonight already. Don't you think you should slow down? You got work tomorrow.
It should say G every time, like in a really happy, bright voice, but then a robotic voice says the name. G, Timmy.
Oh, I thought
We should do a skit with him.
I thought you were doing G as in gangsta.
No. G-E-E.
Timmy, you're a solid G, but you gotta slow down on the weed, man.
I don't like it when you like this.
When you need to go on a bathroom break, it doesn't turn off. It just goes to sleep, and there's a countdown timer in the corner of your peripheral vision.
And if you don't finish by the time that counter is done, it starts broadcasting.
Oh.
And the bad thing about that is if you cut it too close, the broadcast starts mid-wide. The worst.
Don't give them ideas. They're probably already like, man, that's a great idea.
I mean, it's definitely going to come to that, where there's definitely, like when you're working fast food or whatever, your training is literally going to be, you know, an augmented reality animated companion in your peripheral vision that's just telling you what to do. It's coming.
Why spend money on that when you can just get rid of the worker entirely?
Well, we actually already knew about this, but we didn't know all the details. Because we learned a while back that a lot of Chinese brands on Amazon were just simply disappearing. And I actually experienced this as it happened. So I bought one of those lithium battery tire inflators, like an emergency tire inflator. And I was like, oh, I'll just use this to top off my truck tires. And I popped it on there, turned it on, and it had to move it like 5 PSI. And I was doing yard work, so I was like, all right, I'll hop over here and do this yard work. And then I'll let this finish. I came back, it was on fire. And I went to Amazon to leave a bad review. Gone.
Wow.
The whole company was just gone.
Wow.
Because?
That should have gone on Twitter. Amazon says it's permanently banned 600 Chinese brands for review fraud. Chinese companies knew what they were doing, spokesperson says. They incentivize reviews, things like gift cards or promotion, loyalty. Sometimes
Or
they
you
would
just get it for free, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they would just email people and be like, order it and we'll send you a thing and you get a credit.
I definitely recognize Alki and Impal.
Oh yeah, we've ordered those because people have ordered DisplayPort cables. There were those, and we're like, why doesn't the KVM work? And it's like,
the tire inflator I was using was Tack Life. It's another big offender. So it wasn't. Mostly it was this review fraud garbage. It wasn't just that the products are terrible, but they are literally just flaunting the rules. I've gotten these before too.
can you send me that DisplayPort 1.4 cable when I get it? And it's like, this isn't even to 1.1 spec. Come on. This doesn't even work.
And Amazon, we know, is trying to expand globally. And in a lot of the other markets of the world, things are done a little bit differently. And by that I mean bribes. Bribes are required. And everybody there is just like, yeah, that's how we do business. But the corporate structure is inflexible when it comes to that.
Amazon starts a probe over bribes to government officials by its lawyers in India, the report says. Yeah, my takeaway from this is somebody didn't get the memo on that's how things work over there.
Well, or they all understand it, but then somebody found out and they were like, we better do some lip service with this.
Let's get a headline out so people think that we care.
That is, of course, very important to them. I'd say other than China, that's probably the most important market, right?
1 billion people online almost. in India.
You got to think Amazon cares way, way more about India than Google cares about Russia. And look what Google's willing to do for Russia. And the local people in India, the local administrators, I'm sure they know that. And they expect their bribes. PayPal has been talking about getting into crypto, and they did, and they've been talking about getting into pay later and all this stuff and person-to-person payments, and they had a bunch of different products going on, and they were like, you know what? We're going to bring all these together. And I'm sure it works flawlessly, and there's nothing bad about it.
PayPal launches its super app combining payment, savings, bill pay, crypto shopping, and more. Now, this is a fun article, and you should definitely think about that. PayPal basically just wants to be your payment destination. That's nothing new. But in a world where Google Pay has screwed up as badly as they have, do you think that if Google Pay had gotten it right, there would be any room in the market for PayPal?
Also, this is a single point of failure. You put everything in this, you're in trouble. What if you lose your phone?
I wouldn't trust PayPal for that. Google I might trust, but not PayPal.
I don't know that I trust anybody for that.
You're going to trust Google with that?
Not everything, but like for NFC payments and like you're going like everyday payments where you go somewhere to like a gas station or something like that. using something like Google could be advantageous. Dealing with fraud and blah blah blah.
You're gonna let Google hold your crypto?
No.
That's part of it. Well, YouTube. We remember that Google very heavy-handedly tried to destroy YouTube DL, and they learned something that day. They learned that there is a limit to what people will tolerate. And I think that maybe this is the reason they tried to do that originally.
YouTube tests video downloads for your desktop browser. YouTube Premium members can test the feature for a limited time. It works just like downloading in Netflix. It's actually inside the application, inside the browser. It doesn't give you files. It doesn't let you, move something from one device to another. It's literally just so you can watch later with no buffer. That's it. It's the only reason.
And it probably won't even work if it can't call home, right?
Probably.
So if your internet was down, you probably still couldn't do it.
Spotify doesn't work that way though. Spotify you can download and you don't get the files, but you can still listen to it without an internet connection.
Yeah, it's very similar. And maybe they will do it that way, but it's almost exactly like the Spotify thing, where you basically just
Did you? No, quite the contrary.
100%.
I must say, I had never met my...
And Netflix, much like Amazon, wants to expand into the rest of the world. But how do you penetrate a market where people have very low incomes and pretty much do everything on mobile? Well, they have a good plan.
Netflix launches a free plan in Kenya to boost growth. The paid plan is $3 a month, but the free plan, which includes some relatively inexpensive stuff that basically just upsells you on Netflix's other stuff, you just have to have mobile data in order to watch it. And oh boy, it's low resolution.
But you're watching it on something.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
So it's not the whole library, obviously. It's the cherry-picked stuff, probably, the stuff that's going to make you most likely to... Do you think they give you season 1 or maybe just episode 1 of a lot of stuff?
Yeah, that would be.
Try to lure you in.
I don't understand why Netflix doesn't, all the back catalog of Nick at Night. I don't know why they don't just buy that, because that's gotta be like Green Acres and Get Smart and.
I'm sure Nickelodeon started their own streaming service at this point, like everybody else.
Well, but are you still okay? If you do that, then you're able to sell 4 things. You can sell gold, catheters, diabetic testing strips,
right,
and life insurance. What other advertiser cares about that?
Yeah, it's Kenya. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll really Mary Tyler Moore or something. We'll see.
I think you're
or it'll be
underestimating.
Korean dramas. There's a lot of Korean dramas on Netflix.
Is Dick Van Dyke still alive?
I think the Kenyans are probably aware of popular shows in U.S. culture and other Western cultures.
How crazy would it be if they're watching I Love Lucy or the Dick Van Dyke Show and they're just is this what married life is in America?
They sleep in 2 separate beds. Yeah. Why?
Well, much like PayPal, Amazon, Apple has done it, Google has done it, obviously with the Google Pay, several companies. They're all looking for ways to get into being your money manager. Not necessarily your bank, but it's oh yeah, you can buy all these products and then we'll just charge you for it later, or we'll give you all these financial products. And you no longer need the infrastructure that you used to have to do that, which is probably making the banks a little worried.
Banks beware. Outsiders are cracking the code for finance. I get the feeling this Reuters article was written after having read what PayPal was doing and saying, oh, that could work. Also, the Goldman Sachs thing, they didn't mention it in the article, but the Goldman Sachs Apple, unholy alliance would definitely be a good one to mention because, Apple has really insane margins, and Goldman Sachs wants people that can't afford an iPhone to buy an iPhone so that they make insane money from interest and penalties from people missing payments. But Goldman Sachs doesn't want to be on the hook for the full value of the phone. So we have this unholy incest between Apple and Goldman Sachs, where Goldman Sachs is not on the hook for the full value of the iPhone, but Apple will at least get the money that it's invested in the iPhone back. So they basically split the profits, but they also split the risk. But it's really no risk for Apple.
But who was it that bought the buy now, pay later thing recently? They're trying to acquire it. They showed those statistics that 70% of those people are underwater.
Yeah.
So I guess owning the debt is useful. It's an interesting business because you can still make money after you lose on loans. It's crazy.
Well, it's not. You gotta keep. You almost have to keep 2 sets of books because. Yeah. Well, I mean that's how it works with the Apple thing. It's plain. It's plain to see because the amount of money that it costs to actually produce the product and the amount of money that you actually expect to make on the product are two wildly different things. And if you make the money that it actually cost you back, but you didn't make all the money that you said you were going to make, you still declare it as a loss. But in reality, you're still making money hand over fist.
We see a lot of these stories, and this is a cautionary tale, and here's what you should take away from this, and that is, no matter how much you trust another human being, you should never let someone else manage your phone.
No.
Yeah.
Under any circumstance, because this might happen, and this is a horrible thing.
The stalkerware firm is leaking real-time screenshots of people's phones online. PC Tattletale markets itself for monitoring spouses without consent. Does anyone who screenshots suspected devices just by visiting specific URLs?
Do you think they got together and they were like, all right, this is our marketing push. Now, are we going to market this as something that's used with or without consent? So it is just a, when you are using the stalkerware thing, it'll take screenshots and it'll send you the URL. That URL consists of a unique identifier for that phone and a timestamp. Now, if you know one and can guess the other just by iterating, you can eventually find all the screenshots.
Yay! If only someone could write a program to do that. Oh wait, that's exactly
It already exists.
Well, but it is a timestamp. A lot of API hits they might notice.
Or not.
But if you knew roughly what. And even if you are very careful with all of your probably all being spied upon.
This is an article about Google's security team, how even if you're doing like, wait a minute, that person is looking at things that are leaking stuff. Oh no, they're just
But if you have the signal open while you take a screenshot, you are immediately flagged. Real good. What were you taking a screenshot of?
The article made it sound like they would just go look themselves. Like, oh, that's a flag thing we need to go look at. It's just like,
check it out.
I like the photo for this article. The children's kindergarten classroom. It shows you a lot about how they think about their employees.
Well, that's how they're treating them, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they did mention that somebody, they just showed up later. They're like, hey, what's going on?
do you think the Google augmented reality helper AI will be more or less condescending than the one from Amazon?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I know exactly what Google is worried about because this is a big problem, especially when you're in a company. I mean, we learned earlier that sometimes you'll do something and your people are like, wait a minute, what? Putin is a dictator. What are you doing? And it's like, shut up, children. Don't tell people about this.
Mac Rumors reports that Apple CEO Tim Cook, in a leaked memo, is like, we are doing everything in our power to identify the leakers. So it's like, I don't think anyone employees at Apple is leaking stuff to the press. That memo was not leaked to the press, which is delightful.
I would recommend overwhelmingly giant balls to do this.
Look for the guy with the wheelbarrow.
Like, they made a memo about leakers and you're going to leak it? Ah, that is legendary. You know that.
I wouldn't even be mad.
And it could be one kind of but like, they had a little smile.
Yeah, they definitely
Take that, Timmy. And we got a fantastic.
The iOS 15.1 beta lets users add their back card to the wallet app because Apple
For when we get our own Uyghur camps. It is coming. Watching and circle around. Here's one that's terrifying. It doesn't sound terrifying if you read the TechCrunch article, but think about this. Just think forward a little bit of what might come of this. Now, much like the thing, they're like, this only happens on the phone. don't worry. Just through the camera, look at this.
Apple is reportedly working on mental health monitoring using iPhone data. Now, the article, just go read the article, there's a lot of interesting stuff there. But I want you to also imagine the Apple Watch and all the Now, in this episode, we've been talking about like the augmented reality AI. Imagine that Apple has their own augmented reality. Where, you know, going on Amazon and wearing an Apple Watch, you're stressed out because the Amazon AI is giving you a hard time. And then the Apple AI pops up and vouches for you. You're really stressed out. You gotta calm down.
Now, okay. Add another layer of what we're talking about today, and your credit app is also in that conversation. It's like, I don't know. I'm losing confidence here.
Yeah, that's basically
It's like you're going into a spiral.
You need a prescription for some meds.
Timmy, you haven't eaten in days. Would you like to buy some crypto?
Make an Amazon. It's feel better.
He's going to get a prescription himself.
Yeah.
Well, the big tech companies have figured out it is cheaper just to pay these people when they find bugs than to have the bug come out in the wild. It's a smart thing to do. They did it.
Researcher discloses iPhone lock screen bypass on iOS 15 launch day.
So he was expecting $25,000 for bug. He said, high severity, right?
No.
I can break the lock screen. I can get into your phone. They gave him $5,000.
I thought they were paying out like $1 million for like the Pegasus type
Sure, there are several Israeli firms that would pay a lot more than $5,000.
There's another bug in Safari, the share feature.
They don't care. They don't care at all about that. Well, piracy continues to be a contentious thing. We have actually kind of like, we've hit a sort of a stride with piracy, right? Like, most stuff is convenient enough that you don't have to pirate it. But it's always going to be there.
I think it's creeping back up with all the subscription services.
Yeah, you know what, you got a good point about that. Because they've taken the Netflix model where everybody was like, yeah, okay. All right, what, $12 a month? All right.
And like everything's there.
Yeah. But now it's more like, if you want getting this happening to you.
Virgin Media subscribers told to pay thousands of pounds to settle piracy lawsuits.
So it's all based on IP address that goes to, it's tied to a Virgin ISP account. So they just send whoever owns the account the letter. You give us money. If you want to fight it, then you gotta either blame somebody else or say it didn't happen. And here's the crazy thing about this: it's a 50% burden. So if Virgin can have to convince them 50% that this person might have stolen something, and then if you pay crazy. Or you can pay $1,000. Spend $1,000. Come to us. You know what? Let us break that story. We might give you $1,000. And the EU is also a little bit upset. Krista, I think you brought this up.
Yeah.
When we first
That
talked
was the
about
first thing you said.
the Ray-Ban glasses, and I understand because you certainly are the only one at the table who might be a victim of this. Well, Wendell might in a weird way.
Facebook warned over very small indicator LED on smart glasses as EU DPA's flag privacy concerns.
Yeah, this is the indicator to show when you're being recorded by Facebook smart glasses, which are not augmented reality, not yet. But the
creeps are gonna creep, and this is gonna make it easier for them to creep.
Listen, the algorithm has said that people really like voyeurism and feet pics. So maybe we can get both out of this one piece of technology.
I think the last time we talked about this, somebody brought up that it was Sharpie. And also that, you know, like you said, there's no AR, right? There's no VR. There's no AR. These are spy glasses.
Yeah.
We call it like we see it.
So another big ransomware attack. This time, once again, or no, this wasn't ransomware. I'm sorry. This was just intrusion, but in a healthcare situation.